So here's the big question. How are entrepreneurs like us, who have been hustling and struggling to make it to success, who seem to make it one step forward only to fall two steps back, who are dedicated, determined, and driven? How do we finally break through and win? That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answers. My name is Brian Kelly, and this is the Mind, Body, Business Show. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Mind, Body, Business Show. We have another phenomenal show lined up for you tonight. The one and only Jennifer Glass is joining us. You are going to absolutely love this woman. She brings so much value, so much experience, so much talent to the table. And you are going to be the benefactor of all of that. And that's what I love about what I get to do this show. And that is the Mind, Body, Business Show. What is that all about? It is about what I call the 3 pillars of success. It's much like a tripod that has 3 legs. If you take any one leg away from that tripod, then that tripod will collapse and fall down. It's similar with mind, body, and business. And what is that? What I found over the course of the past decade or so, what I did was I started studying successful people and what made them perhaps more successful than me. And so what I found was time and time again, 3 things kept trickling up to the top. And you might guess what those 3 things are. They are the title of this very show. So mind is really mindset. To a person, each of these successful individuals had a very, very positive and powerful mindset. Even more importantly, they had the most flexible mindset you can imagine. And then body. To a person, these successful people that I studied and followed took care of themselves physically, literally physically. That means by exercising on a regular basis, by eating and drinking nutritious food and liquid. And then business. Each and every one of them had mastered the skill sets that are necessary to create, build, and scale a thriving business. And we're talking about a myriad of skill sets that include things like sales, marketing, team building, systematizing, leadership. I could go on for quite some time. And being an astute person that you are, that is watching or listening to this, you realize that to master any one skill set can take an exorbitant amount of time. It's like being an expert in anything takes on average 10,000 hours. And it's very similar to master a skill set. So the good news is you don't need to master every single skill set that is necessary to operate a business. And really, you only need to master one, and then the rest can pretty much fall into place. And that one skill set is the skill set of leadership. Once you have that, and now you can masterfully orchestrate other individuals who have mastered those skill sets that you have yet to and may never master because it takes so long. And now you have a team that you can lead and create an incredible business. So that's one of the things that I learned, and among many, by studying these amazing individuals. And that's what this show is predominantly about, is bringing on entrepreneurs like Jennifer Glass to interview her, to bring out what are the things that are helping her to make her business successful, so that you can then simply take those tidbits of information that match what you're trying to do and model what she is doing. That means copy, and just put it in motion so that you can achieve the same level or even greater level of success than the folks that come on this show. That's what it's all about. It's here for you, and it costs nothing. I love what I get to do. I cannot wait to move farther into this. Before we do, one quick additional thing that I found and noticed amongst very successful people is, to a person, they are very avid readers of books. And with that, I like to segue into a little section called affectionately bookmarks.
Bookmarks. Born to read. Bookmarks. Ready, steady, read. Bookmarks. Brought to you by reachyourpeaklibrary.com.
There you see it on the screen, reachyourpeaklibrary.com. Real quick, a side note. There are going to be some resources shared with you here tonight on this live broadcast. If you're watching on video, you can find us at themindbodybusinessshow.com. There is a registration form there. Nothing is for sale. And that all we will do is remind you of the next show as it is about to come on with the link so that you can join and watch right away. And here's the thing, we're going to be giving you a lot of valuable resources like websites. So reachyourpeaklibrary.com being one example. Highly recommend that you write these down, take notes. And instead of going off and clicking away and looking at it while this show's going on, because then you'll be distracted. And I'd really hate for you to miss that one golden nugget that Jennifer brings to the table that could potentially change your life forever. It's like I say, the magic happens in the room. That means stay focused if you can. It's just my advice. I'm taking notes as well, and I'm running this whole thing. I literally write notes during this show. So I implore of you to do the same and then visit these resources when the show's over. All right, off of my soapbox, just want to help. Reach Your Peak Library, that is a resource that I had my team develop specifically with you in mind, the entrepreneur, the business person looking to make it to that next level. And the reason that came about was because I myself was not much of a reader at all until age 47. I'm 57 now at the time of this show recording, going live as well. And I then began learning just the incredible value of reading, not just any book, but the right books that were in the field that would help me to improve as a business person, as an entrepreneur, and as a person. And everything listed on this site is a book that I personally have read and I vet, which means not every book that I've ever read since 47 till now is even on this website. So I wanted to give you a resource where you can just jump in, scroll, find something that jumps off the page, go get it. This is not meant for us to make money on. If you find it and you want to circumvent it and go to Audible or Amazon and go grab that book, fine. Find the title you like, go to Amazon and buy it. It's not for me to make money or for us to make money. It's just a one-stop shop. In fact, when you click those buttons, it goes to Amazon. And so go ahead and pick the next good read from these that you see on reachyourpeaklibrary.com and enjoy. Speaking of enjoying, you know what time it is? It is almost time to bring Miss Jennifer Glass back into the fray. Jennifer, come on back. Come on back. Oh, I see you there. Fantastic. If you're ready, give me a thumbs up and we'll get this show rolling. All right, she is ready. Ladies and gentlemen, you are in for a treat. Here we go. Jennifer Glass is in the house.
It's time for the Guest Expert Spotlight. Savvy, skillful, professional, adept, trained, big league, qualified.
And there she is, ladies and gentlemen. It is the one, it is the only Jennifer Glass. Yes.
Thank you so much, Brian.
So great to have you on. And I was so fortunate to be on your podcast earlier, and you are such an amazing host. You are so talented. I can't wait to share you with my audience now because of your brilliance and everything about you. You are just a gem, and I'm so grateful to be able to have you on my show. So thank you so much for spending the time with us here tonight.
Thank you.
Let's give this young lady the big intro that she deserves. What do you think? Yeah? All right, here we go. Jennifer R. Glass is the CEO of Business Growth Strategies International, the only company to offer business growth coaching along with smart payment processing solutions, market plus web hosting, and design solutions designed to increase a company's bottom line, because that's what we all want, isn't it? Jennifer is a business growth expert who works with small to medium-sized businesses to help them find the money that they are leaving on the table, and we're all doing it. She is also the author of multiple works, including her It's the Bottom Line That Matters series of books. There, she's holding it up. Beautiful. With that, officially and formally, welcome to the show, Jennifer Glass. This is going to be a phenomenal episode. I can't wait.
Looking forward to it, Brian. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So what I like to do, Jennifer, oftentimes, so the title of the show is Mind, Body, Business. And in my humble opinion, mindset is basically the foundation. Our mindset individually is the foundation of either our level of success or lack thereof. And so when I bring on successful individuals such as yourself, I love to find out what is going on in that beautiful brain of yours that has brought you to where you are and keeps increasing your success as you go forward. So what I like to find out before we get going is more of a peeling the onion or the layers of the onion back a little bit. to get a little deeper into what makes Jennifer Glass tick. And by that is every day we get up as entrepreneurs, we know we have a mountain of things to do that we want to get done, and we need to prioritize. We love what we get to do, but there are still days that are arduous. And for you, Jennifer, when you're getting up in the morning and you're about to start your day, what is going through that wonderful brain of yours that is keeping you motivated, driven, no matter what comes in front of you? What is going on in your mind when you get up in the morning?
So, Brian, that's a great question. I wanted to answer it this way. When you think about, one of the books you showed in the Reach Your Peak library was Start with the Why by Simon Sinek. And it really is the why we do what we do. And that's going directly to the root of your question. And to me, my why is to make our communities stronger. I know that when I help my clients, they are now in a position to hire more people. They're now in a position to be donating more money, time, goods, etc., to different communal causes. They're able to start being in a position to be more involved in their community. And as our communities get stronger, our nations get stronger. I was accused of being utopian because, oh my God, how could you possibly that's way too utopian. It's crazy. I was talking with someone else from California, and she's like, everyone in California is utopian anyway. But it really, though, is, it wasn't meant as a compliment, but I don't see it as a problem. I see it as a proud badge of honor. Right? Why can't we have a more perfect union, right? President Lincoln called for a more perfect union. This is exactly what we're trying to do. And so I want to make a difference. Can I make a difference in one person's life today? Can I make a difference in 10, 50, 1,000, whatever that is? That's what I want to do that day. And I know that every day when I get up, it is with the desire to at least impact one person at least, to make sure that they're in a better position than they started the day.
I love that. And I love the reference to utopian, because that is a big thing going around right now, as in the United States specifically, for sure. And there's a big difference. And one reason it's thought of as negative is the connotation, the context in which that was made negative is because with a utopia, there's always one entity in control of everyone. That's usually when the negativity comes from. And what you're talking about is exactly the opposite. You're helping individuals to become self-sufficient so they can then spread and help more people. Completely different, in a much better utopia, in my humble opinion. I love it, because this is what I like to say about people like you, Jennifer. I wish and pray for massive wealth for you. And people will go, why would you want to do that? Well, because of what Jennifer just said, because I know her mindset. If she makes more money, she will scale her business and help more people. She will hopefully take some of that and reward herself and have fun and get things she likes to get and do things she likes to do, because she would deserve it. But I know to a core, she just said it. The essence of Jennifer is she wants to help people to succeed, and that will help the community at large to improve. So I appreciate that big time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Do you agree with that, or disagree with my concept of utopia and the different approaches?
No, I completely agree with you. When it comes down to looking at it from the perspective of, like you said, that negative idea, it really is just help everybody, and that's going to make the community better. It's not that it's one person in charge. And so when everyone is in charge of their own destiny, and they're in a position to be better, and the community is stronger and the nation is stronger, that's where it's going to make a difference.
I love it. And Raymond Cousin agrees. Raymond Cousins, he's a wonderful, amazing guy. I got to know him personally. 1 + 1 = 11. So true. When you have people like Jennifer making a difference in the world, that's what happens, is you have that compound effect. Ooh, there's a book by someone in that list about that. Yes. I love it. So now no doubt you have run across the folks, and maybe still do this day. There are people that have a mentality that they want to go in for the quick kill, the big buck at any cost, or not really taking into consideration the cost. Maybe it may not be with intent, but not really carefully going through it. And instead of building long-term relationships like you're talking about, instead of building everything with a long-term vision, not the short-term quick kill, and you're doing that. So what would you say would be a key or a best way to go about doing that, to achieving long-term success, not just getting in, grabbing a quick buck and moving on to the next thing and trying to do it once again? What has it been for you?
So what it really comes down to is, how are you looking at what you're defining as your ultimate success, right? My keynote presentation is actually all about this. It's "Does success equate to happiness?" And it really is all about, how do you start defining success? For many people, when I started researching this, they were saying, well, success is me being in a position to buy a car, vacation, home, whatever it is. Other people said success is really based on the time of life they're in, right? If they're younger, they're going to have a completely different perspective of what success is than when they're older. Also, can you do what you want to do when you want to do it? And so when you look at having that long-term goal in terms of where you want to be, define where you're looking to get, where your success point is, and keep moving that yardstick. Because the problem is that too many people get to a certain point, and then they're like, all right, I'm successful, I don't have to do anymore. And then it's like, wait, no, you do, because there's another day tomorrow, right? Like the song from Annie, it was just on last week, I think. Yeah, last week. Big show tunes geek here. When it comes out to Annie, the sun will come out tomorrow. That's exactly the idea here. There's another day. And so you need to be at that point that you're going to be looking, what am I going to do tomorrow to still keep growing, to be changing? Because if you don't, you're not going to be living anymore. And so that's really what it comes down to.
Man, I so agree with this, Jennifer, so deeply. Being from the corporate world where, the big dream was to finally reach that age of retirement. That was their idea of success, and then just do nothing but their hobbies for the rest of their life. And the thing I saw over and over was, it didn't take long until each and every one of these people that had that kind of mentality ended up in the obituary column. It was sad. I'm thinking of one right now that I used to work with, who that was his whole thing, is I can't wait. Then I can just sit around and go have fun. And 2 years later, the man passed away. The purpose, the drive was gone. And I'm not saying everyone has to have it, but I think for entrepreneurs, if those out there that are not entrepreneurs but want to be, know that it's never what Jennifer, you said it so beautifully. It's like, once I reach that level of success, I've made it, I can just cruise. Well, if that's you, and that's okay if that's you, but that is not the mindset of an entrepreneur. My entrepreneur is always looking for the next challenge, the next big level to reach, the next way to help more people to succeed. And that's what's so beautiful. It's like, that's what I call life. It's living. It's living with a great purpose, in my humble opinion. I cannot imagine hitting a ceiling and saying, I'm done. What would you do? I can't handle that. Have you ever, I've sat out by the pool with my wife, and we're like on a vacation, and I see people reading, and we're laying out there, and we're both in half an hour, we're looking at each other going, I can't handle this anymore. Let's go do something. We can't just sit still. It's awesome. I appreciate that you brought that up, because I hope folks that get into entrepreneurship that aren't in it, or if you are in it and you're thinking that there is a ceiling, this may not be the right path for you. So maybe rethink it. What do you think, Jennifer?
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah. Needed a drink of water there. Whew. So, and that leads into something else. So when we're working on things as entrepreneurs, when we have a new idea, it just takes off immediately, right? And everything is perfect.
Really?
Yeah, I wish. Yeah. I was being very sarcastic. Yeah, because the thing is, some ideas come to fruition quicker than others, but usually any idea takes quite some time to finally hit a rhythm and start working the way we had envisioned it. So how long do you, Jennifer, stick with a new idea before you just say, you know what, I finally need to just stop? And what would be the reason for stopping?
Well, before I answer that question, let me start with this. There's a saying that says an overnight success is about 10 years in the making. And so it really is that way when you look at a lot of ideas, right? I mean, as an entrepreneur, especially one that's been involved in so many different projects, it comes down to trying to figure out, all right, what pieces are valid? What pieces do I need to possibly reconsider? And where do I need to go in terms of figuring things out? And one thing that I judge a lot of ideas on, and really, I mean, I start a lot of my clients this way also, is I show them a resource triangle. Now, if you think about a resource triangle, you have time on one side, money on another side, and resources on the third side. And so as you look at ideas, you look at businesses, you look at opportunities, you need to be taking into account those three pieces: time, money, and resources. And that's what's going to allow you to start really figuring out what's going to make sense, what doesn't. In terms of some ideas, I'll be honest, I've gone down some paths and I stopped way before the finish line because I have all these people who said, no, 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 it's never going to happen. Let me give you an example. In college, right? And I'm going to date myself here for all of you that don't know, just because Brian already did too. But in college, I was seeing writing on the wall that this weird thing called the internet was going to ultimately be a place where people were going to want to go for a job. They were going to look online for a job. And there was no such thing as Monster, Hot Job, Career Builder, Indeed, any of those places yet. Didn't exist. There were classified ads. And so I was saying, what if I created a site that would have all of these classified ads on the site instead of having just to go to the newspaper? Well, I was told the newspaper is not going anywhere. It's going to take too much work, too much effort, too much ridiculous time and money and everything else, and it's not worth it. I'll let you know, within 2 years, that idea was reality when Monster and Hot Jobs, I think it was, rolled out. Another one was I had a crazy idea about cleaning the bathtub because I hated cleaning it. So I wanted to have something that plugged into the shower and started washing the shower. Well, S.C. Johnson came out with that same thing that just sprayed around the shower because I didn't follow my instincts. And I listened to, no, no, no. The problem is we all have a lot of no-no-knowers in our lives. What you need to do is you need to actually look at what it is that you're doing in your business, in your idea, and what it is that you're trying to do. And if you honestly believe that there is a path to getting you there, you have to follow that. I'm not saying follow it into bankruptcy, but you have to at least try to see where you can go. You know, there's comics that you see all the time about that guy who's using the pickaxe and the dirt, and he stops an inch away from the gold. Too many times people do that and they kind of get lost. But what you also need to do, though, is you need to look at it realistically, right? If this is something that is just a complete money pit, and God, I'm thinking of Tom Hanks's movie now. But if you're looking at that and you're a mile away, you have to stop. Because as the founders of Google, I think it was, that said, I'd rather fail fast quickly because then at least I learn from the failure and I can move on. And so you need to figure out what is it that you're really doing, and then you're going to be in a better position as you continue moving forward and you're not going to be leaving too much on the table, which is what I help my clients with, to avoid leaving money on the table.
That's fantastic. So many golden nuggets in there. I don't even know where to begin. But one of the things is also do some research and get an idea of what time frame it should take, if you can find that, for what you're embarking on. I've got a perfect example of that. There's a gentleman by the name of Lewis Howes, and he is an entrepreneur. And he was asked this question on stage once about podcasting. And he said, the question was asked him, if someone came to you and they were asking, they said, Lewis, I'm thinking of starting a podcast. What would be your advice to them? And he didn't think very long. He said, okay, well, number one, they need to commit to be consistent, meaning if you're going to drop a podcast episode every Monday at this time, do it every Monday at that time without fail. Number two, but more importantly, is if you don't commit to doing that, this was what almost took me out of my chair, for a full 2 years, then my advice is don't start at all. And I just love how folks come in, and because this is live video, it's kind of in the podcasting realm. We do repurpose this to podcast, but I was right at that 2-year mark with this very show when I saw that video. And I thought, he is spot on, because that's when the momentum just started hitting. And all the people that you come get to know, like Jennifer Glass, and all of these relationships that you develop over time, things just start happening and you just go, wow, this is pretty neat. But it took 2 years. Knowing that, at least you know it's going to take 2 years of commitment before you're going to see anything really beneficial, financially or otherwise, from it. You see beneficial along the way, but just know, if you know it's going to take some time, then know it ahead of time and be willing to commit to it if that's what you want to go down. And then there's, like you said, you know, if it's putting you in the poorhouse and you're not anywhere close to the gold, then it's time to maybe reroute and start digging in a different direction and find the gold in a different hole somewhere. So very astute, very intelligent, and great advice in my humble opinion. So thank you for that. My gosh.
Let me just add one more thing to that. When you're looking at what it is that you want to do, one of the things as you figure out your strategies to get to where you want to get, put down 7 different strategies to get to each goal. And why do you do 7? Because when you're already brainstorming, how am I going to get there? If you can put down 7 strategies, you're taking all of that brainstorming time in the beginning before you actually start. And when something doesn't work, you quickly pivot instead of having to stop and then reassess and then go. If you know already, though, that you've got 7 strategies right now, tomorrow, if something didn't work today, you can start with the next one tomorrow to help you figure out exactly where you're going to be going.
And also very great advice. Yes. Oh my gosh, how many times that has happened for me, where I pick a strategy that I've heard from others that works. I go with it. As that's going, I'm looking at other strategies just in case. So a similar approach for sure. And then sometimes when we come up with additional strategies, we add those and layer them on top of the one we're using, if we have the bandwidth and the team to do that. That was another approach too. And you quickly find out what works and what doesn't. And that's the good thing, because like you said, you want to fail fast. You want to find out what's not working quick, so you can just put it to the side and move on to the next strategy. And I love that concept. Come up with 7 strategies ahead of time so that you're not scrambling and going, what the heck do I do now? And you're in a different headspace now. You're freaking out maybe a little bit, and it's going to be harder to find another strategy that you want to go through. So I think that's sound advice. That's phenomenal. Thank you again. I'm just going to say thank you for the rest of the show. Is that okay? That's just going to be my response. Thank you.
Thank you.
I love it. I love it. Okay. This has got to be amongst everything discussed. And by the way, I do definitely want to dig into what you do specifically, like what exactly is it you do for your customer base and who you help. I know with the opening, we talked about small to medium-sized businesses. And I want to go through where we'll pull up your website, if that's okay, and just have a chat about what it is you do, who you do it for, and what kind of successes your clients have gotten as a result, which I know there are many. So I want everybody to know that. So stick with us. You want to hear this. She does amazing things. One of my favorite topics ever when it comes to business is that of marketing. It's interesting when times like this happen, pandemics and slowdowns, and you need to cut your employee base if you need to. Oftentimes they go to the marketing department first, and that's like cutting off their lifeblood. They get rid of the marketing department. Like, what are you doing? They need the people to put the things together and build whatever the product is. Yes, we get that. But if you have nobody buying it, you got nobody coming to make the transaction because of great marketing, then it's going to be difficult. So for you, Jennifer, when you go about marketing your business, knowing that what works today most likely may not work 10 years from now, and what worked 10 years ago probably isn't working today. But for you right now, at this moment, if you were to pick one form or approach or strategy for marketing in your business, what is that one form that's been the most successful for you?
Joint ventures and strategic partnerships.
Whew.
Without a question. And that is going to be here 10 years from now. It was here 10 years ago. That is never going to go out of style. When it comes down to what you do in your business, having the right people that you can speak with on a regular basis that are talking to the exact people that you want as your clients, they're going to be in the best position to work with you and refer business. Let me give you a really quick example of one of my clients and how we made this work for them. So I have a flower shop that came to me, and we were trying to figure out what can we do to really make a difference in their business. And what we did was we looked at a whole bunch of different ways, what was going on. And it happened to be that 2 doors down from them, there was a jeweler that was literally in the same strip mall as where the flower shop was. And so what we said was, let's take the 2 of you, right? And the biggest industry, by the way, that flower shops work in, there's 2. I'm going to take the happier one in the bridal market. Although I just spoke with another one 2 days ago, 3 days ago. She was in the middle of putting a funeral order together. But whatever. Let's take the bridal market, right? Because it's much happier. So in the bridal market, and the reason I said the jeweler is because 2 doors down, the guy is going to come. He's going to want to get a ring. He goes to the flower shop. He gets a dozen roses. Both of them are in a unique position to refer each other without any additional expense involved in that transaction. But then what do you do then to make it even bigger? You start going, all right, look at an event chain in the bridal market. You have the jeweler, the florist, you have the catering hall, you have the caterer, you have the officiant, you have the DJ or the band, you have the photographer, the videographer, the printer, the baker, the candlestick maker. I mean, everybody that's in that that event chain is somebody that you now can have put together. And each one can refer all over the place based on where somebody comes. And what we did was we came up with our trusted vendor list, right? For all of you brides out there, women that went through this, you know one of the hardest parts is figuring out who am I supposed to deal with, right? You got to have appointments, and how many people do you sit down with to talk about the tastings, the dresses, all of these different pieces, right? You're going so many different places. But what if you had a single sheet of paper that said, here's the list that all of us work well with? If each of these are going to work well with the next, now all of a sudden you know there's not going to be any issue come the day of your wedding. And so it makes so much difference in terms of figuring out, how do I get from here to there? And so a joint venture strategy can make a huge difference. And it doesn't matter what industry you're in. If you're selling cigars, there's event chains over there. I can't think off the top of my head because I don't smoke cigars. But if you're selling, kids' clothing, pediatricians. I mean, you've got all of these people that are
Right.
in that event chain that you're in a position to directly communicate with, and all of you can cross-refer. And so without a question, joint venture strategic partnerships is the one strategy I would always keep on going back to.
And another thing I love about that, a side benefit of like you referring your client to someone else, is their experience of you is heightened and improved because you help them save time by giving them a vetted resource that they can, now that they've gained trust in you, they can take that trust and project it forward to anyone you would refer them to, and it'll be a quicker decision for them, taking them less time. And then, of course, be sure to vet the people, make sure that they're giving great high quality. Like you said, a preferred vendor list, that's genius right there, or a trusted vendor list, and have that at the ready. And this happened, Jennifer, you're so correct. Not like I'm surprised, but on everything, it's like I've had so many referrals come my way that I didn't ask for because of relationships built with people that are great partners and JV partners. And if you have something, if they refer business to you, consider if it's like an electronic delivery, even physical, if there's a way to basically reward them for that referral monetarily, then set that up like an affiliate program or referral program to give them a thank you. That's what I'm doing. I've got referral programs set up. So I was like, thank you. They don't even ask. They don't sign up for my affiliate program. They're not doing it to make money. And I just say, no, I'm going to pay you. Is that okay? And to date, it's odd. I've never had anybody say no yet. It's crazy. But yeah. Oh, I forgot. Jennifer, thank you.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness. So much fun. Oh, okay. Being an entrepreneur is I don't know. It's to me, it's a fantastic rocket ship ride. It's exciting. It's invigorating. There's fear involved. You don't know if the rocket's going to careen down and come out of orbit and crash to the ground. The good news is you can parachute out and get in another rocket and do it again. But man, I just made all that up. Where'd that come from? But when it comes to being an entrepreneur, Jennifer Glass, for you, when you think about everything it entails, all you've been through, what is your one favorite part about being an entrepreneur?
The difference I get to make in people's lives. It's without a question, again, it's my why, like I said earlier. If you can see how people are going to be changed and the way in which they're changed, I don't think that there's any greater pleasure than knowing that you have positively impacted other people and the lives of everybody around them.
Thank you. So this is another reason I love rubbing elbows with people like you, Jennifer. Have you ever, so you have your family, right? You have your own family, and they typically hang out together. You're all together. And then you go out to, say, a seminar or a networking event that is entrepreneur based, where a lot of business owners show up. I've had this happen so many times. I'll go. Oftentimes my wife will stay home and I'll go and spend a day or a weekend or whatever it happens to be. And it's interesting when I get there, without saying hi to a single person, I just feel it. I sense it. I feel like I'm with my second family because everyone has like mind and positive. People are smiling. They're not downtrodden. Oh God, I got to go to work tomorrow and all that stuff. Do you get that same kind of experience when you go out amongst the people, so to speak, of entrepreneurs and small business owners?
Without a question. I mean, when you start seeing people who are not dealing with the, oh my God, kind of mentality, it does make a huge difference. I mean, when you go to conferences and seminars and all sorts of different events, you really see people who are in a completely different light. And especially when they get those nuggets from the various speakers, that's where it really makes even more of a difference. And I've been fortunate. I've spoken at many conferences and people come up to me and they're like, I took 18 pages of notes from your remarks. I'm like, that's great. I'm really thrilled that you did. But one question I have, and by the way, for all of you that are watching and listening, one question I have for you, when you do that, what are you doing with it? If you don't take action, don't waste your time, right? But there you're getting your highs, you're getting the endorphins and everything, but you have to take action on what you learn. And so always, even if you're reading a book, by the way, just constantly in your book, write down the points. Don't just highlight it in the book, write it down somewhere and not just type it, write it, because it's going to have more muscle memory that way, which is going to make a huge difference when it comes down to what it is that you're trying to ultimately do.
And you said the key word, all right, the very end, do. I always say there's 3 stages. There's learn, then do, which is what you just talked about. And to really hammer it home is once you've done it, is to then turn around and teach it. Because when you teach it, it then becomes even deeper ingrained in you than you could ever imagine. That's what I would say all the time. How many of those seminars, remember the days, Jennifer, back when it would be a seminar and people would sell these big packages full of cassette tapes or CDs or things that you would take home, books. And, you'd go and you get all hyped up and, man, this is going to change my life. You pay an exorbitant amount of money that probably is worth every penny. If you do that second stage, which is do, you take it home, you put it on your shelf. Now that person on the stage was selling self-help, right? For you, so to help you can help yourself. Well, you took it home and it became what? Shelf help, because you did nothing with it. So what Jennifer is saying, do not go down that path. If you're going to go in, take action. That was the perfect word right there, is take action, do something with it. I can't tell you. And it's not always as easy as it sounds, because, the luster wears off when you get back. You're on a high and you're with all these great people. You get home and now it's reality. There's dishes to do. There's a lawn to mow. There's all these things that are going on that you didn't have these distractions when you were there. And so it takes discipline, but just make the commitment. If you make that purchase or you're going to invest that time, just make the commitment, put it on your calendar, prioritize it, make sure it gets done. Otherwise, it's wasted. And my gosh, we don't have time to waste, people. We got a lot of lives to impact in a positive way. That's why Jennifer's here showing us how to do it. Oh, Jennifer, thank you. I know it's getting worn out. It's getting old, but it's fun. So I'm one of those people that just keeps doing stuff no matter what. My goodness. Let's see. So let's discuss your business. I want to bring that up before it gets too late. And what I want to do is pull up one of your websites and let me know if you want me to switch over at any time. It's fine with me. And I just wanted to give you the opportunity because you deserve it. And not only that, it would be a disservice to everyone in my audience and those who see this outside if we did not bring this up, because you are here to help change people's lives. And that's what I'm here. That's the purpose of this show, is to help spread the word about amazing individuals such as Jennifer Glass and what she is doing to help us all in that area. So I'm going to pull this up in just a second. I promise it's coming. And there we go, right there. All right. So Jennifer, who is it that you guys, talk about your business, say what you do, and then talk about maybe who it is you impact, maybe talk about a case study or somebody that you guys positively impacted, which I know there are many that just sticks out and you'd want to share with people. And then maybe how to get in contact with you to have that discussion to see if you're a fit.
Absolutely. So in terms of my coaching business, I work with primarily small to medium-sized businesses in the retail, professional services, B2B, online, and nonprofit industries, primarily. I've got a couple of outliers in other spaces, along with agencies and things along those lines, but it's primarily those people that are really looking for help in changing something about their business. A lot of people come into business, whether they're startups, they don't know exactly what to do, or they're established and they're seeing a plateau in sales, or they're not seeing the growth in sales. They're not sure operationally how to move forward, strategically where they're going. There's a lot of different issues that businesses come up with at different times in their life that make a difference. And when it comes to the marketing aspect of a business, that's one of the areas that I really specialize in for my clients, where we really look at what it is somebody's doing. And by the way, if you cannot actually work with somebody like me, you definitely want to get a copy of my book. It's The Bottom Line That Matters, Quick Tips and Strategies You Can Use in the Next 12 months to grow your business. It's going to be, it's full of the 8 primary strategies that we use with our clients to directly help you get more business. That's the goal. But the idea, though, is that when it comes down to what it is that we're doing, we're looking at your joint ventures, we're looking at your upsell, cross-sell, downsell. I mean, how many of you actually even know what those mean? And if you know what they mean, do you have that in your business? Too many business owners that I speak with on a regular basis don't have any kind of upsell, cross-sell, or downsell opportunity. But look at Amazon, look at Apple. And I'm calling out those 2 companies as an example because they're amazing at what they do, right? The cross-sell on Amazon, people like you bought these things also. And then when you're looking at a listing, buy these 3 things together because it makes sense. There's an upsell. Apple, you buy anything, they're selling Apple Care. It's just a no-brainer for anybody to decide, yeah, you know what, it makes sense, let me get that. So if you're not actually using those strategies, you want to really start looking at that. And those are areas that we work with our clients to help them really figure out what it is that they're doing. When I give my presentations, one of the things I usually show is I show one dot and a whole bunch of other people. And I basically liken it to if you're out in the savannah and you're a gazelle, you're a giraffe, you're a zebra. I mean, it really doesn't matter what animal you are on the prey side. Do you want to be there or do you want to be the predator that's going to eat other people's lunches? And I'm not saying do anything bad, but the problem is that if you're not doing it, somebody's doing it to you. And so the problem is that we need to really think, what is it that we're going to be doing? And we need to act as a renegade when it comes to the marketing that we do. Because if we're following everybody else, we're doing exactly what they're doing. The 1% never go down to that 2 to 99% because they're the 1%. So if you're doing what everybody else is doing, you're somewhere in that 2 to 99% range. How do you ever expect to move? Right? And that's why you need to do something different. And so that's what we do with our clients. We make it that you're going to be getting into that top tier instead of being where you are with everybody else, because you're not going to be doing the same things everybody else is doing. And one of the things that we do is we work with you to help you come up with your market dominating position, not just a unique selling proposition, but it's a market dominating position that's going to actually make you stand out from the crowd and make it, it's a no-brainer. Why should I work with you? Right? Too often we talk about price. Unless you have the Walmart model where you're going to be the race to the bottom, price is not going to be the thing that differentiates you. And I don't think any of you listening are in a position to be in a race to the bottom in terms of your pricing. So that's what we do. And I'd love to speak with you about helping you in your business. And if you go to bgsicoaching.com, and Brian's got the site up right now on the page, there's a schedule introductory call link right there where you can actually just click on that. I'm happy to have a 15-minute call with you. Absolutely no obligation for you just to, what's your biggest issue that you're having right now in your business? Let's get that addressed. And if I can help you in 15 minutes, great. If it needs more time, we can certainly look at how we work that through as we continue to move forward.
Fantastic. Yeah. So for everyone listening, to repeat, if you're just listening on a podcast after the show's over, it's bgsicoaching.com. And the introductory call schedule that she was alluding to, if you scroll down about halfway down on their webpage, you'll see a nice little graphic there with a nice red button that says schedule an introductory call. And that's how you can hop on with Jennifer. And you can tell, look, you've listened to her, and those of you who have watched on either live video or recorded video, you can see she doesn't bite. She's a wonderful individual. Look at that smile, just on cue. And I've had the pleasure of talking to her several times now, one being on her own podcast, and she's everything. She impressed me more than I could imagine because she just has this talent base and integrity and everything. She has the whole package. I don't know how to eloquently describe, but I'm making an attempt at it and I'm failing miserably. But I just want people to know that this is someone I personally would vet and say, go have that chat. It doesn't mean you're going to be a fit, but it could mean you will be. You just never know till you have that chat. So I would recommend highly that you it's 15 minutes. Come on. And this is her time, by the way. And I want to be very sensitive to that for her is be sure to show up and be a professional and not just waste her time. Even though it's just 15 minutes, that's 15 minutes. If she has 4 of those calls, that's an hour of her time. So be ready, have questions ready to get the most out of it for yourself. I talk about this a lot when people set up calls with me. It's like, have your notes ready. I schedule 1-hour calls where they just ask me anything they can and want to. And oftentimes they come on and go, I don't even remember what this call was for. I'm like, my God. And you're here? Why did you even? It's interesting. But I put that on myself. I'm at cause. I need better messaging leading up to the appointment to tell them, remind them, come with notes on this subject. It's so funny, and it looks like by your reaction, you've been through some of that yourself.
Once or twice.
Yeah, once or twice. I love it. Oh my goodness. I just looked at the clock. I don't I should just stop looking at the clock because that told me that we're getting close to the end. I don't want it to end. This is phenomenal. So we have 2 giveaways tonight, not just, oh my gosh, I didn't even talk about that at the opening. For those of you that stick with us to the end, you get to enter that. You have to be watching live for this one. So those that are with us live, and we're almost there, you will have the ability to win a 5-night stay at a 5-star luxury resort. And that's all compliments of, you see the big red stamp on the upper right there over Jennifer's left shoulder to the right of the screen as you're watching. That's the Big Insider Secrets. My good buddy Jason Nast is the owner of that. They offer this. They allow us to offer this each and every show once a week. It's an amazing, amazing thing. You don't want to not enter. And yes, Jennifer, if you're wondering, you can enter as well. I've loved it. I've had guests win that prize. And some will say, that's not fair. Why not? She came on and spent her time and gave you all this value. I think it's the least we could do is let her enter if she wants. So I can't wait to bring that up, and that will be very soon. And Jennifer has a gift for all of you as well, a nice little surprise. So hang on for that. Here's the thing, Jennifer. I like to close each show with my guests with a question, a specific question. And I found it to be very profound. It kind of happened by accident, but the same question was coming up. I let my guests choose the questions, as you know, Jennifer. And this one question kept coming up. And I thought, okay, that's interesting in and of itself. And then the answers I got, like, whoa, I started realizing an interesting pattern developed. Let's just put it that way. And so it can be personal in a way, but not to worry. I'll expand more on it real quick. But before we do that, okay, I'm just going to go to it. Are you guys ready? Are you ready to win a 5-night stay at a 5-star luxury resort? I'm going to put it up on the screen. This is only for you if you're watching live. So what you want to do, this is the only time we're going to give you permission. Jennifer will agree with me, I hope, is this is the only time you can take your gaze away because you'll need to actually open up a browser tab, a new one. Don't delete this one. Just open up a new one. And here it is on the screen. You want to go to this web address. It's RYP. That stands for Reach Your Peak. RYP.im/vacation, all lowercase. RYP.im/vacation. Go ahead, head on over there, enter to win, and we will announce the winner by random drawing later this evening. Yes, it will happen this evening. So go ahead and do that right now. Right now, get her done. ryp.im/vacation. And then come right back here because Jennifer has an amazing giveaway herself. And I'm going to pull that up. Do you want to give it some words before I give them the how to get their great?
Absolutely.
Okay, fantastic.
So I have an e-learning platform that goes through, and again, remember I said my downsell opportunity, right? Because you have to have something that's in a certain level. So my e-learning platform, bgsiacademy.com, is where a lot of the strategies, again, what's in my book is really my lowest. The bgsiacademy.com is my next site. You can go to bgsiacademy.com, register using the promo code MindBodyBusiness before December 31st, and you'll get 30 days free. That's a $97 value. Or if you opt for the year-long program, it'll take another $97 off the $997 rate for the entire year, bringing the entire year to $900 instead of the $997 that it normally is, which is an incredible value with the amount of information you're going to be getting. You're going to be getting the 8 primary strategies with a virtual MBA program that's a 52-week long program. You're going to be getting our ad library, our elevator pitch library, our headline bank, so many different pieces all in that bgsiacademy.com site. I really want you to go there, use the coupon code MindBodyBusiness by December 31st and get 30 days free, a $97 value, or take $97 off the year program for $900 instead of the $997 at that point. And I hope to see you in there.
Fantastic. Thank you so very much for that. I'm going to leave that up on the screen for a little bit. So I'll reiterate. So where you go for this is bgsiacademy.com. And once you get there, you enter the coupon code of MindBodyBusiness, no spaces. And does it need to be all caps? Usually most coupon code systems don't care, but
I don't believe it does.
Okay. But to be safe, I put in all caps. That's what I do as a purchaser myself. So MindBodyBusiness, and do this before the end of the year. Wow, I love that date. It's going to be 2022 the next day. So get it done, take action. And at least, if you want to get the month for nothing, and then you'll probably come back and say, I want the next 11 months worth, because that's amazing. The value is just unbelievable. So definitely either way you choose, or go all in, be an action taker and say, I want the year. I'll take $97 off. Thank you very much. And to that, they will say to Jennifer, what's those 2 words? Thank you. I love it. And I promised we would close the show with an amazing questione for Miss Jennifer Glass. Yes, this is going to be amazing. So I wanted to now kind of put the bookend on the other side of this. So this question is profound and it can be personal, but here's the thing. There is only one correct answer to this question. There's only one, and that answer is yours. You cannot get it wrong. There is no wrong answer. And so that's the only thing that makes it personal, is because it's unique to you. And I'll tell you already, you've already skirted over this question several times during this show. And so again, if it comes to you like immediately, which it most likely will, because you've already been thinking about it and you know very well what it is already, I can tell, that's fine. If it takes you a while and you want to rethink it, that's fine too. Why? Because it's your answer. It's unique to you and nobody else. So whatever answer comes to your mind, and however long that takes, you can just relax and know that it's going to be an awesome answer, because I know it already. I know it's going to be awesome, even if it's different than what I think it's going to be. So with that, my goodness, what a big buildup, huh? All right, with that, are you ready?
Shoot.
All right, here we go. Jennifer Glass, how do you define success?
Success is really based on, again, as I said earlier, the stage in life where you're at. For me, success is really when you're seeing the people that, or for me, that I have impacted and that I continue to impact on a regular basis. The more that I can keep on impacting, again, my success line keeps moving forward. It doesn't stay still. And so I'm always chasing it. I'm not letting me pass it. And so when it comes down to success, it's really helping other people. There's all sorts of ways that I could do it: money, cars, house, vacations, all of that. But it's really, what is the biggest impact? Because I know at the end of days, the only thing I can take is my name. And the more that I can do to really make that difference and help the people now, that's going to be my name in the end of days. So not to end it in a morose manner, but it's really helping people. And that's how I define success.
Oh, that is absolutely amazing, as are you, Jennifer. You are an amazing individual. I appreciate you. So the best way to connect with you, would you say, would be that introductory call, the 15-minute call? Or is there a different
15-minute call is great. You can also connect with me on LinkedIn, Jennifer R. Glass. And you can check me out on Facebook, The Jen Glass, that's with 2 N's. Twitter, The Jen Glass with 2 N's. Instagram, The Jen Glass with 2 N's. You can definitely go there, bgsicoaching.com, the site that's up right now if you're watching us on video. Again, BGSI Coaching, COACHING.com, for those of you that are listening to the program. And I really encourage you to reach out. And if you do connect with me on any of those platforms, let me know that you heard me on the Mind Body Business Show. And I'd love to connect with all of you and make a difference in your life.
Oh, and I know that anybody that does call you will have a difference made in their life just by talking to you, as you've done with me, just having you here on the show and being a guest on yours. It's been an absolute joy, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. It's been phenomenal. The value you brought, the wisdom. There were so many intangibles that I could go on for another hour and help and teach people. Say, when Jennifer did this, did you notice this? There are so many of those moments just on this show. That's why all I could say the whole night was thank you, because that's what happened. Jennifer brought the value for you. This show is for you, the audience, and it is to share wonderful, amazing individuals like Jennifer with you, so you can take what she has done, her knowledge, her experience, model it, and become successful more than you could ever possibly dream. And one of the best ways to do that is reach out to her, get that 15-minute introductory call, reach out to her on social media, all those ones that she gave with 2 N's. Don't forget the Jen Glass. Don't forget 2 N's, and make that connection. Do it. Don't wait. Don't hesitate. Don't let fear or resistance or hesitation get in your way. Just do it. You can tell she's an amazing, wonderful woman. She will help you. She's there for you. And all it takes is for you to open that door and take a step through, and you can meet with this amazing young woman. Jennifer, any last parting words you would like to give for advice for all those out there that are struggling today and trying to make it in their business?
What you need to do is, again, go back to what we said earlier, take action. You want to find the one thing that you can do right now that is going to make a big difference tomorrow. If it's re-listening to what we talked about on this program tonight, definitely do that, because there's a lot of tips and hacks, if you will, that we covered over the course of the last hour or so on the program that you really want to be going back, because I guarantee you, if you look at what it is that we covered, you're going to come up with a few ideas that are going to give you more clarity and more strategic direction in terms of where you want to go. That's going to make a difference in whatever way you ultimately decide to implement any of those 7 strategies that we talked about to meeting your goals. And so you've got to take action. That's the first step. Go out, do it. You learned it. You took your notes. Now go do something so that you're going to make a difference in your community.
Whew. Jennifer Glass. The one, the only, the amazing Jennifer Glass. Thank you once again for gracing the stage with us tonight. And for all of you that have been watching and listening, we appreciate you. Don't forget to go to themindbodybusinessshow.com, register. It's cost you nothing. And all we do is announce the next show, who's going to be on it. And we provide you a link so you don't have to go hunting for it. You can just click on it and you'll be right here with us again. Well, maybe not with Jennifer, but we'll have to have her back. How many of you would like to have her back? Show of hands. All right. We can't see it, but I can't wait to hear from everybody. Yeah, Jennifer's raising her hand. I love it. So Jennifer, oh my goodness, on behalf of the amazing Jennifer Glass, thank you, Jennifer. On behalf of Jennifer, this is your host, Brian Kelly of the Mind Body Business Show, saying so long for now. Everyone go crush it, help people, and be blessed. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye now. Thank you for tuning in to the Mind Body Business Show podcast at www.themindbodybusinessshow.com. My name is Brian Kelly.